Kara and Guillermo cannot expect people to respect their relationship when Kara doesn't respect Guillermo. I'm James, this is my take on reality. Let's get it. A couple can't move forward together if mutual respect is absent. This isn't to say that Kara doesn't love Guillermo. She says she loves him and I will take her at her word. However, you can love something and not respect it. I love my dog, but I wouldn't look to her for advice about my taxes. Why? Because I don't respect my dog's opinion on taxes. Like same, I can see that Kara doesn't respect Guillermo's opinions because she has built a logic escape hatch into their relationship. If he ever disagrees with her or things get heated because he thinks that she did something wrong, she can always trump his opinion by throwing the "you're just a kid" card. Relationships usually work better when you find a partner as opposed to somebody who's just tagging along. There's something I say on this channel all the time. Iron sharpens iron. If you have friends of strong moral character, these are people with integrity, these are people who have pride, these are people who are highly motivated. When you interact with them, they push you to become better. A huge part of that push is that they have the ability to normalize whatever circumstances you find yourself in. For instance, if all your friends own a home, then home ownership is not some pipe dream that's unattainable. To the contrary, it's normalized, which means that you're driven to get a home because in your mind, that's what you're supposed to do. Iron sharpens iron. Conversely, as my mother used to say, you can't soar with the eagles if you hang out with a bunch of turkeys. You are a reflection of the people that you choose to spend your time with. And I'll take it a step further. Having someone whose opinion you respect not only makes them valuable, but it makes them indispensable. I don't want somebody who's going to tell me I'm a winner. I want somebody who's going to help me win. Because Kara doesn't respect Guillermo, this puts him in a position where he has to support everything she says. He has to look to her for decision and guidance. This makes him quintessentially a cheerleader. Because of that, he's not valuable and definitely dispensable. A house divided cannot stand. When Kara describes Guillermo, she diminishes him by categorizing him into one of two ways: young and or sexy. My question is, how do you build a life with someone that you view as a kid you're screwing? In her initial introduction of herself and her take on Guillermo, she described him as a young boy. Then she goes on to treat him like a child. A huge example of this is Kara didn't go to the Dominican Republic to help Guillermo say goodbye to his family and friends. No, because when Kara got to the Dominican Republic, she took more the role of a mother who was making sure her son got on the right school bus. The reason she gave for going down didn't make any sense. Originally, both Guillermo and Kara expressed concern because Guillermo's passport from Venezuela had expired. Now, according to the show and her rationale, she thought she was going to be able to talk to the people at the gate and explain things to them. How would that work? They detained Guillermo because his passport is expired, then all of a sudden she burst forward talking about, "I want to speak to your manager." Yep, good luck with that. At 23, Guillermo was talking to them cops by himself. Kara totally gets to wait in the lobby. You know why? Because Guillermo's not a child. And even if he was, he's not her child. Ass. Let's keep this all in perspective. The age gap between Kara and Guillermo is 6 years. And because of this, Kara refers to Guillermo as a kid. Let's compare this to season 5's Before the 90 Days star Jimena and Mike. She is 1 year older than Guillermo, and the age difference between her and Mike is a decade. People have called Jimena a lot of things over the last season, but I have yet to see anyone refer to her as a kid. Personally, this entire approach to this relationship rubs me the wrong way because it presents Kara and Guillermo's relationship as lacking and leaves the door open for other suitors to step in and try to fill up the void left by her young partner. My initial impression of Kara is that she has underlying insecurities about relationships. Kara strikes me as the type of person who wants to be in a relationship that they themselves can solely control. A situation where they feel like they have all the power. The methodology is to set up a relationship where she is the only clear dominant and all decisions rest with her. I can all but guarantee that at some point during this season, they're going to have a disagreement and she will pull the "you don't understand how life works because you're young." Another point of tension which could lead to a glaring vulnerability would be how she treats Guillermo, particularly how she presents Guillermo and how she acts when she is with him. As an example, during their goodbye celebration with her friend and Guillermo's brother, a comment was made referring to Guillermo as being a kid. Guillermo made it clear he did not like the baby comment. Without hesitation, Kara jumped right on the bandwagon and started calling her fiance a toddler and mimicked rocking him to sleep. Now, of course, this was hilarious to everyone at the table except to the one she should most be concerned with. Now, the question is, how do you demand that other people respect your relationship when you don't respect your partner? Kara spent a good amount of the time attacking her partner personally. Saying he's young means that he's incapable capable of supporting her financially, physically, emotionally, potentially sexually. First thing a guy is going to say is, girl, why are you settling? He's going to say, girl, you recognize what the problem is. Let me be the one to fix it for you. This creates all kinds of circumstances where Guillermo could be disrespected heavily. After all, why would some rando guy at the bar think that they're actually in a serious relationship if his girlfriend is calling him a baby? Bottom line, why should he respect Guillermo as a man when his fiance doesn't? The disrespect ran so deep, I could see a scenario where a guy might even walk right up to Kara and shoot their shot in front of Guillermo. Hey, can't you see grown folks talking? Now, assuming she doesn't want to leave or cheat, it still presents a huge vulnerability because it attacks Guillermo's self-esteem. There's a huge emotional difference between being the guy a woman wants to see as a partner versus the youngster she's spending time with. If you're the latter, how do you find confidence in that? I would argue that you can't. She's just creating drama where there doesn't have to be drama. Here's my prediction for the season. At some point, they're going to get into a discussion or argument about how he's acting overprotective and he doesn't trust her, and there's questions about who she is and what she's about, and she's going to look at him and say, I don't understand why you can't trust me, why you feel so insecure, not realizing, girlfriend, you're the one that planted those seeds. Now you're angry because you're starting to reap what you sowed. This type of tactic is used to try to make the person always feel like they're never enough and that they always got to get better, and they're always kind of chasing you. While they're chasing you, they never realize all the mistakes and all the shortcomings you have. And that's a way that people who have this kind of power and manipulation and control, they try to keep you from recognizing where they fall short. As an older guy looking at this situation, I would say that Kara doesn't have everything together. I get the feeling that she's still discovering herself. See, and this is where it gets tricky, because a lot of times you'll be with somebody and they'll start pointing a finger at you and telling you all the things that are wrong with you, calling you names, trying to hold you accountable in a certain way. But in reality, all that criticism is actually directed back at themselves. See, I know that Kara is immature. Even a toddler understands that if they're doing something or their behavior causes someone pain, they should stop. She kept going. And this tail ends into the other immature part of her whole mindset in doing this. When Guillermo comes to her and says, girl, I told you that I didn't like it when you were calling me a baby, and that was something I didn't appreciate. I'm sure she just referred back to, well, your brother was doing it too. Or even worse, he started it. The inability to take responsibility for your own personal actions is a sign of immaturity. To Kara, it was all gravy as long as everybody kept laughing along with her. But here's the difference. Even as a young child, you learn that there is a huge distinction between when somebody is laughing with you and somebody is laughing at you. Moreover, things are funny for a reason. The entire point of this joke is Guillermo is too young to be with Kara, so quintessentially, their relationship is a joke. Now, with all this in mind, she expects him to uproot his life and get on a plane the next day so that they can continue the relationship that she's holding out as a joke. Here's the secret. If Kara values this relationship, she needs to start protecting it. Fight for and defend the person you are committed to with the same vigor that you would fight and defend yourself. She needs the maturity to understand that her fiance, soon-to-be husband, is a reflection of her. When people disrespect him, they are disrespecting you. When they question his worth, they are questioning your worth because he's the one you picked. In the words of Kim from season 5, Before the 90 Days, you need to grow up a little bit, girl. This is James. That's my take on reality, and I'm out. 'Cause I've been living